Well, I practiced overseas before I came to the United States. And after my training, my first job out of residency was in Houma, Louisiana.
I started practicing July of '94.
1996 is when I finally decided to make it. Well, was I actually got offered a move and then decided to come down here.
Here in town, 96, 97.
96.
Where did all those years go?
My mom was a X-ray and lab tech working in a doctor's office.
Well, I grew up in a medical family. Dad was a doctor here for a lot of years, and
I think that was always one of those things kind of, my parents kind of pushed me in that direction.
grandfather and lots of cousins and uncles, doctors. So I guess it seemed like a natural fit for me to pursue that career.
My dad wanted me to be an engineer. I didn't like that part, so I ended up going exactly the opposite of what he wanted me not to do.
My mom had gone back to school. She really liked it, and she ended up going from finishing her degree to being a physician's assistant.
Even though I tell people I'm from Cocodrie, you know that's not exactly true, okay? I'm actually originally from Africa, Nigeria.
She'd always be talking about something very interesting that happened in the ER or the OR.
And where I grew up, if you had potential or promise as a young child, as a young person, you were either going to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer.
Probably in my early teens, I wound up being an orderly in a hospital.
We would make rounds here on the weekends, and before we go to the camp and go fishing, whatever we're going to do. But so we made rounds with Mother Blanche was the administrator, I guess, of the hospital back then. That was a long time ago, but.
I don't know, I think there's something about taking care of people. I come from Lebanon, and there was need at that time for medical services in a sense, and I was intrigued by that.
And I think my teachers convinced my dad that I might have potential. And right from third grade, he started talking to me about being a doctor.
I sort of did a little bit of a scenic route through college, quit college for a while, went to work in construction for a while.
I wanted to help people.
Realized that was probably not what I wanted to do, went back to college and went back to medical school.
But when I started coming into my own, I thought that medicine would give me an opportunity to impact people in a very powerful way.
I went to college, medical school, and did my residency all in the Los Angeles area. And while I was a resident, my parents relocated from Arizona to Thibodeau.
Got into medical school in 1984.
I'd read a lot of books, that were located in Louisiana, and so I thought I knew a lot about the culture and the area.
Cold weather and hot weather. I did my training in New York. I didn't like the cold weather.
And I really liked it, so I wanted to be close to my family. We'd always been very close.
I stayed close to home for a lot of years. At my college years at Nichols, and then
I told him, get me out of here. It was too cold in New York.
I got married in the middle of med school and ended up doing an internship in Shreveport, and then I finished my residency program in Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
And they didn't tell me about hurricanes. I ended up coming here.
I finished my residency in 1992, and then I was in Philadelphia and I had a practice in Philadelphia.
We're finishing our residency. We had 3 kids already, so we figured probably best to go back home and raise kids where we were raised, so that's why we came back.
My initial question was, Houma, Louisiana, where's that?
My wife and I flew down for the weekend and spent some time here and met at that time, the pretty young guns. It was Craig and Bill and Jody and Rick at that time. And, they were taking the world on and setting it on fire, and it kind of felt that same mentality.
Actually, they got me from the airport and they shipped me straight to Chauvin.
I came for the job, okay? I was fresh from training, but I fell in love with the community.
If you're interested, there are some people who speak French. I did speak French, and that was really the main thing that intrigued me. It was a small community. It was close to the water, like my old town back home.
I was a little hesitant, a little town in South Louisiana versus a big city in the Northeast, and
The big thing for me was the deep well of goodwill that I received, not just from my patients, but from the people in the medical community, from the staff in the hospital, from people in administration.
I talked to my wife for a while, and she was very pragmatic, being a Navy brat.
I don't want to mention the food because that is also true.
And, basically said, as a cardiologist, you'll never really be unemployed, and if you like it, we stay. If you don't like it, we leave. And that was 28 years ago.
Primary care was probably a good fit for me. I like dealing with people and like the challenge, like the variety that the family medicine gives you.
I first came to town as an internist.
You kind of probably tear off more things that you don't want to do.
And the way I like to say it, I went through early midlife crisis and decided to go back to train to be a kidney doctor.
One of the best things about practicing obstetrics is you just see the circle of life.
Actually, used to make few home calls or house calls.
I have patients that are grandparents, and I see their children, and I see their grandchildren, and sometimes now I'm delivering their great-grandchildren.
I think that was the best part of doing medicine, to be honest with you.
Be in a position to encourage, to help, to provide care, to do it with grace and kindness, to be compassionate about it.
A lot of the patients we see on a day-to-day basis are I'm going to say miserable. They just don't feel good.
All pregnancies are fun and exciting, and it's always a beautiful thing.
And when you wind up going in there and replacing the valve or fixing the valve, the vast majority of them have a dramatic improvement. And they come back, 6 weeks later and go, I can't tell you how great I feel.
To be part of that and to be part of that gift of life for them is very special.
It makes your day, okay, I'm glad I did something for that person to make them feel better.
So it has evolved a lot.
We're going from paper to charts to electronics to telecommunications to televisits. That's changed tremendously.
Yeah, a lot of technology changes for sure, diagnostics and treatment. And
So when I first began, it was much more paternalistic.
I've been very, very fortunate to be at the very point, if you will, of some of the new technology that is being researched even.
Specialized care, that's made our job a little bit easier because you can, bounce things off other people when you need to.
And you kind of look at that and go, you're playing with the big boys here. I mean, these are some massive universities, and here we're number 3, number 4, number 5 of enrolling in these trials. And
we used to get involved in every aspect of our patients' care, and now it's a little bit less.
Over the years, my type of practitioner is a dying breed.
I think the changes in medicine have been good because I've always felt like it should be a partnership.
The core of medicine is still the same, still take care of people,
In between the staff, which isn't just the doctor, it's the nurses, it's a lot of people, social work, and the patient.
I still rather do paper charting, but again, that's the times it changed, and I think we all have to change with it.
Thankfully, the hospital's been incredibly helpful in pushing the things that we do.
I came, I saw what I liked, and I've been here ever since.
I really liked the nurses here.
When we go and look at other programs, even in South Louisiana, that come nowhere near the things that we're able to do here in Terrebonne General.
And I really liked the doctors. I felt like it was a welcoming environment. I wasn't from here, I was an outsider.
It created a learning experience with the presence of multiple specialties around and a safe environment.
You have the support services where you have a responsive administration, where you have colleagues that are collegial.
The support team here is excellent. It makes our job easier. Nursing, social services, administration, obviously.
Because of that environment that is supportive and responsive, it has been an easy decision for me to stay here. And, God willing, this is where we're going to retire.
I would like to see our hospital grow. I would like to see more specialties come this area here.
I was, fortunate enough to serve an administrative role here with chief of staff and things over the years, and
I think that was, many years later, I think that was the right decision.
One word.
Well, if I got to pick, I hope it's loving.
Personally, I would call it rewarding.
I'm going to use two words, actually. I'm going to use a cutting edge.
commitment. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a most rewarding experience. It's been a very fulfilling journey for me.
I had some advice when I was a young doctor, that you got to be available, you got to be there, you got to, show up when you're called,
It sounds a little cliche-ish, but a calling, but it is.
I feel like I've been pretty good about doing that for 30 years.
If you always treat any patient like she was your mother, your sister, your best friend, or your daughter, you will never make a mistake.
The main thing is you have to listen. You have to listen to your patients. Everybody has a story to tell.
Be as kind as you can, be as gracious as you can, and just strive to be the best you can.
Caring is really part of healing people, actually really caring about them.
Make sure you love what you do.
I mean, it's a lot of sad days, a lot of happy days with medicine. Seeing people get better from challenging illnesses and injuries, and
People say about, family life and trying to do that balance, and there's certain things that I kind of look about that maybe I miss with my kids. Maybe regretting a little bit. I can't turn the clock back. I got two great kids. Been lucky.
I always believe if you work hard and you're good at what you do, then you'll be rewarded in the end. So just keep that in mind.
There are not too many people who will have the privilege of doing what we do.
I truly enjoy coming to work and doing the things that I do.
So I think we should just be thankful for what we do and the privilege and the opportunity to do it.
It's been a good adventure.
I feel like as energized as I was the first day I started. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I have no plans to change that anytime soon.
I plan to continue working here till the end of my career, and it's been a great place to practice medicine.